Alright, so a lot more people have went onto their live streams to talk about the Mizkif CrazySlick AdrianahLee essay cover-up. If you don't know anything about this situation, I recommend watching these two videos first before continuing with this one. But for those of you who know what's going on, you might know that one of Mizkif's current roommates, Mitch Jones, actually went with Mizkif's at the time girlfriend Maya to AdrianahLee's house in order to get her to downplay the initial twitlonger she would release about Slick. Mitch Jones made a live stream going in depth on what happened before and during that visit to Adriana's house. Here is what he said.
I'm going to tell my full truth of this. I'm really stressed out right now because I feel like this whole situation has been weaponized or something, and it's like really, I don't know, like honestly, my heart hurts in all of this because all I ever wanted was justice for AdrianahLee. You know, I reached out to her to try and help her because after the situation had happened, if you felt like you were downplayed in any way, I don't want that to be the case. I'm involved in this because I am the one that went to her after the fact and was like, hey, I think that there was an issue here, and I gave her the contact information to Train, right? And then Train has been helping her with this, you know, obviously this is all unfolded, right? Like, this whole situation is honestly just so fucking sad, man, and I don't know who I can trust, and I feel very alone. I feel like I'm being used as a guinea pig. I'm honestly scared, man. Like, and all I tried to do was help this fucking poor girl, and I feel like I'm terrified. I'm actually fucking terrified. Maya, I believe, woke me up that day. There were some accusations against CrazySlick, and apparently Novaru was the one who leaked it initially, and then Adriana was forced to make a statement because Novaru had basically talked on her behalf. Maya had woken up Miz, and then I was also woken up, and then we were all standing there, and we were like, okay, what are we gonna do?
Who decided to go and sit down in a room, in a bedroom somewhere to, like, make a plan?
Yeah, I mean, that was Miz's idea to, like, create a plan of, like, what we're going to do.
What was said during that, like, sit down, let's go to Adriana's house?
Okay, Maya was trying to get Adriana's side of the story. Maya and I both wanted to see if, Slick's and Adriana's stories added up. Because at that point in time, everyone in our house had just had the info of Slick, right? So, but we knew that something was wrong and he fucked up. But, like, we wanted to hear her side of the story just to see, like, what he did wrong or whatever. And that, when we were in the room, is what we were discussing at first. Obviously, Miz, was like very worried that his best friend was going to get kicked out, and like he was feeling like very much so affected by it. Like he was like worried about Slick or whatever. Told Maya, like, you're Maya Higa, like, you know who you are. And he told me also to not say shit. He was like, Mitch, you're an idiot. Don't say shit. And I'm like, okay. And my only intention going over there was to figure out what her side of the story was. I just wanted to hear her talk. I had nothing to say to her other than that. And so you're saying, was there malicious instruction from Miz is what you're asking me? I think that Miz was looking out for Slick's best interest in that scenario. Does that answer the question?
I think it beats around the bush, but I mean, like, straight up, like, just shoot it real.
Okay.
Do you feel like it was kind of malicious or not?
I wouldn't use the word malicious. I do think that Miz is like the leader of that house and shit, and I think that he definitely knew that he was telling Maya that she knew her strengths and she knew what she could do, or not do, but you know what I mean. She knew that it was like a woman-to-woman thing. I can't be in Miz's head and know his intentions, but all I know is from what I thought and what it looked like, I guess, yes, it looked like that. Yeah, it was me, Barry, and Maya that walked in that room. It was mainly Maya and AdrianahLee talking.
All right. Well, how did that conversation go?
They were speaking about what was happening, and the reason that I felt like there was a weirdness in the air was because I could tell that the guy Kyle was like alluding, because obviously he was an eyewitness of the account. I could tell that he was alluding that, she shouldn't change her statement at all. You know what I mean? Like, it just seemed to me like he was like, no, you should leave that in. And like, I don't think she knew what happened to her, if that makes sense. I think that she was passed out or whatever, and someone else was an eyewitness of what happened. And that's when I felt like uncomfortable. I was like, oh shit, like this is like a big deal, and I honestly don't even want to be here anymore. And that's when I went outside and I was just fucking playing with the dogs. Maya wanted Adriana's side of the story, but do I think that Maya is capable of gaslighting someone into downplaying a sexual assault? No, I don't think she's capable of that. Was I there for it all? No, I wasn't. So I guess AdrianahLee's word would matter a lot more than mine here, right? All I know is after all of this happened, I felt extremely fucking weird. And I was like, okay, This whole situation is strange as fuck. I didn't want to be associated with any sort of business of this being, downplayed or anything like that, right? So I reached out to Adriana and I was like, look, I do not want to play any part of you not saying your story. If you felt like you were strong-armed or, anything into not saying your full truth, then I want to personally help you get justice, right? And that is what I did. This was like a week or two after I think I saw her somewhere, and that is what happened. And this is how I'm pretty sure that she got in contact with Train. I don't know if Barry had spoken to Train beforehand about it or if she had spoken to Train, but I'm pretty sure this is how she got in contact with Train. I just felt like a grody and gross because I was even there. I don't think us going there was like the correct thing to do. I know that Maya's intentions were just to get her side of the story, and those were also my intentions, but either way, it still could look as though there was like some sort of like power dynamic and like us going there because we live, Maya, Miz, like lived with CrazySlick. It just looks weird. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like there was some orchestration to downplay the scenario? I know you said that.
Yes, I felt as though she felt scared to say her full truth just because we were there, and that's why I reached out to her after the fact because I felt bad. Yes, I don't know if there was any downplaying. She also told me that she felt like Slick was, blackballing her from parties and stuff like that, and I told her like straight up like.
So you said she felt bad about the situation. Did she feel bad about the situation because she felt like it was blown out of proportion, or did she feel bad about the situation because she felt like she was kind of put into a corner?
Yeah, exactly. She felt like she didn't get to say her full truth, and I think she was scared of the influence of Mizkif in pseudo reference. I do think that, yes.
Did Miz explicitly give direction to you and Maya and fucking whoever the fuck else was in that room to go to Adriana's house and to quote unquote downplay the situation or find a way to save Slick's ass? Yes or no?
The answer to that is yes. It's just like that's not easy for me to say at all, but that is the answer. Yeah.
Fuck, man. Yeah, I get it, bro. Of course, it's not fucking easy.
And the thing is, I had a private conversation with her yesterday, like just me and her, and she was just saying like how thankful she was that I helped her get this story out, and she started crying her eyes out, saying how she felt so excluded from like so many things, and she felt like she wasn't able to like party and like all this other stuff, and she was literally.
Right, well, hold on, hold on. Let's talk about that. So you're talking about from the time that after you guys went to her house and had this whole conversation with her, she felt like she was getting blackballed from like all the parties and all the hangs?
Yes, she felt like she was getting blackballed from all the parties and all of that shit. And I just had a private conversation with her yesterday where she was like telling me how much that affected her, and like it made me really sad to hear that she was saying to me that she was feeling suicidal over all of this. This situation is very fucked up, and honestly, I'm probably gonna get kicked out of my house. You know what I mean? Like, it's all good. I'm just trying to say the fucking truth and my piece of everything, and that's it.
How do you feel like she was getting blackballed from all the parties or
I don't feel Miz had anything to do with any blackball in any parties or anything like that. I don't Miz I don't think had any involvement in that at all. Zero. I think Slick acted on his own accord. Slick probably would like waddle into Mizkif's room and use his account to like fucking do weird shit. Like, I don't know. I don't think that Miz was a part of any blackballing of this girl in the community. I feel like I should clarify the exact words that Miz said, like, again, because people can make their own interpretation of that, correct?
Clarify it. What were the exact words that were said?
The exact words that were said were like, Maya, you are Maya Higa. You know who you are. You're a woman. She'll listen to you. Not like maybe listen's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. She, like, does that make any sense? Those were along the lines. And then he looked at me and he was like, Mitch, you should shut the fuck up and not say a goddamn thing. And that was that.
Do you feel like your conversation with Adriana after that visit you had to her house was an honest conversation?
Yeah, I do feel like she felt intimidated by me, but the thing is, like, our relationship grew over time, and then she started to trust me, and that's when I connected her to Train. Even to this day, I feel like I'm in the shittiest position ever because I have to say the truth, but the truth directly like impacts people that I care about. You know what I mean? I guess I'm just going to end with the fact that, like, I really feel as though this whole situation has been sort of like weaponized in a way, and that also makes me feel disgusting. Like, I probably shouldn't say that, but like that's how I feel.
Alright, so that's about it for Mitch's stream. Next up, we have Emiru's statement on all of this, as she is a part of Mizkif's organization OTK, and has lived with both Mizkif and Slick for the last 10 months in the same house. Here is what she said about everything.
I felt like I had to go live and like say my piece and my experiences since, you know, I've lived here, did not see a scenario where it was possible for me to go back to streaming as normal without doing that. As of today, Slick is gone. He is gone, and he's never coming back, obviously. I don't think it needs to be said, but what he did is abhorrent. As a girl myself, obviously, being through shit like that, it was just really hard to see. I mean, obviously, I'm sure everyone here knows, but for people who maybe don't, yes, Slick was my roommate, and I've been living with him for about 10 months now, and I honestly considered him one of my good friends. When the original situation happened, it was before I'd moved in, right? But I did hear about it when it first came out. When I first heard about it, my initial thought was, that shit is horrible, like, I can't associate with that, but what changed my mind was, for the duration of my friendship with him, there were a lot of times that he would talk to me and say that his greatest fear was being canceled. And I would always say to him, you fucked up back then. You shouldn't have done that, but, you know, you say, like, she said it was okay. And we both know that you're a respectful person who wouldn't say things like that to girls. And he'd always say to me, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't do that. I just feel completely lied to, and like the person that I knew never existed after seeing those screenshots. Especially considering that I myself am obviously a girl and would talk to him about things that have happened to me, and he would let me say stuff like that to him. Meanwhile, be sending things like that to other girls. I just don't know if I've ever felt so betrayed in my life by a friend. It's bad enough that he did that shit to Adriana and that those logs existed in the first place, but what makes it so much worse to me is that he got what, in my opinion, was an undeserved second chance, and he just continued acting the same way. Even just like a week ago during his subathon, he just didn't care and didn't try. Seeing that shit happen to other people, especially coming from someone that I was in close proximity with. I mean, you guys know that I moved here to get away from a predator, and I ended up living with one, unbeknownst to me, for 10 months. I do want to say, though, I've never felt unsafe living in this house, and you guys know that. Simply, Russell, Miz, they've never done anything that ever made me feel uncomfortable or like they didn't respect my boundaries or anything like that, because a lot of people have been asking that, so I just wanted to say that. I've been getting a lot of comments and DMs as well that have been expecting me or pressuring me to leave OTK, to leave everything. As of right now, I'm not leaving. It's not a coincidence that when I was dealing with my own shit, that they were there for me and propped me up, and I know firsthand more than anyone that they take my well-being very seriously. Not just me, but all of the girls around here and in this sphere and that work for them. As an org, they've always been very supportive of me, and the way that they've been handling this, I know you guys don't know everything that's happening and there's a lot of speculation, but the way that they've been handling this is super reassuring to me, and it makes me feel very safe. They prioritize my well-being, and that's why I'm here. It's hard, but I truly believe in the good of the people around me, and that all of the times that they supported me and were there for me were real. I genuinely believe that. From an outward perspective, it seemed like they would literally castrate someone for you. That is true, and not just for me, but for other people around here, and I can vouch for that so hard. With the people that I know, if they knew the full story, this whole thing would have gone completely differently. This would have never happened. I've lived with Miz for 10 months, and I've hung out with him pretty much every day since I got here. The Miz that I know would never know the full story and just let that happen. There's just no way that he knew. I'm sorry. That's just not the person that I know. He has always been there for me whenever something horrible happened to me without me even having to ask. And I know that's not just true for me, but for other people. He was there for me when we were in Busan and I was sexually assaulted. Been there for me whenever I've wanted to vent about something that has happened to me in the past, and the picture that's been painted is not the person that I know.
So according to Emiru, she believes that Miz isn't that bad of a guy and just got tricked by Slick in the same way she was tricked by him. Normally, we wouldn't be able to verify the validity of that, as Mizkif opted to take the route of responding in a PR twitlonger that didn't really give us any information, but luckily there was a private call that was actually leaked between Mizkif, the guy who initially called him out to start all of this train wrecks, another member of OTK Asmongold, Mitch, who lives with Miz and was obviously there during the visit to downplay Adriana's story, as well as the person who took them there and also witnessed the conversation with Adriana, who isn't a content creator, and his name's Barry. The only version of this call we have is Destiny reacting to it, so you'll be seeing him playing Factorio on screen for the duration of this call, but with all that being said, here's Mizkif's behind the scenes private call testimony to what happened.
I remember the whole day. This was one of the scariest days of my lives. My best friend in the whole world, Slick, people are saying he's about to get canceled. I run in his room. Maya's crying. I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm hyperventilating. Mitch is there. We're all trying to figure out what the fuck we can do for my best friend, right? I care about Slick. I fucking do. I love the guy. People were telling us, mainly Barry, that, yo, AdrianahLee's about to come out with some shit because Novaru, she went out and tried to say some stupid ass shit and accusations about Slick. I am freaking out, and I'm literally crying because I'm saying to myself, I'm going to lose my best friend. I'm going to lose my best friend in the entire world. Maya's upset. Mitch is sitting there. We're all freaking out. I tried to get answers. I tried to get, what is AdrianahLee thinking? What is going on here? What's happening to my best friend? I wanted to know.
Were you there that night, Miz?
The party? No. Barry calls us, finally, after Mitch's spam calling. Mitch, this is all accurate so far, right?
Yeah, well, Barry was the only reason that we were able to get a hold of her because he was friends with... He was friends with, what the fuck is her name?
Kyle and Anna.
Barry, then, from there, he said to us, yo, Slick's done. And I'm like, he wouldn't really give us a good description. He's like, Slick's done. It's over. Adriana is fucking saying that this shit's bad. It's done. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck does that mean? And Barry kind of hung up, and Adriana we didn't get a hold of them pretty much ever. I didn't go because, you know why I didn't go? I knew that if I went train, it would have looked immediately like a power play. Because it would have. If I went there and I was sitting there at, 30K Andy against these people, it's going to look like a power play and it's going to look bad. The reason why I sent Maya is because Maya is much more liked. People respect her, and I feel like Maya can talk to these girls because I want to know what the fuck went on with my best friend. I care. I really care.
Miz.
And I was willing to lose
pause.
like that
Just
day.
pause real quick. No, pause real quick. Okay. I need you to hear what you just said. Do you understand sending Maya because she's liked, trusted, and a girl? You don't understand how much worse that is?
If I sent myself as a 30,000 viewer streamer,
Mitch and your girlfriend, it's an extension of yourself, and it's even worse because now it's under the guise of trust.
Well, so here's what happened. Mitch got there. Mitch was basically there, and he, from what I've heard, he just played with the dog.
If you want to know, like, the real thing, I, witnessed it all. 3 witnesses that what Slick did was true. And basically what happened when I brought Maya and Mitch there, Mitch was just acting like stupid Mitch the whole
dumbass,
time. While he wasn't like, it was basically Maya gaslighting Adriana the whole time. Basically saying, are you sure this is what Slick did to you? You're pretty drunk. You wouldn't remember it. Are you sure? That doesn't sound something like Slick would do. We know Slick. And then she was like, if you tweet longer, CrazySlick, this won't be good for your streaming career. You won't be invited. And then they were telling her what to write in the tweet longer so it wouldn't look bad for CrazySlick. I was there the entire time. I watched the entire thing.
So Train, what does that have to do with me?
Because you're willing to throw anyone under the bus, and then you give me the excuse that you want to save CrazySlick. Bro,
I did want to save CrazySlick. That was my objective, was to make sure
Mitch told me,
it was okay.
And I know Mitch is going to have a hard time doing this because he's with you right now, which, if you're how you are, it's going to be tough to do this. But, he told me that you said, listen, Maya, you need to go there and use who you are on Twitch to get him to write something less. You wanted that.
We had no idea what was going to happen.
No, it's the same thing that you just said, Matt. Like where you were like, I knew Maya was liked or whatever. You said, yeah. I mean, it's literally that you said that exactly.
Yep. Because I knew for a fact that Adriana was not going to give me any information because she wasn't talking to Mitch. She didn't want to talk to either of us. And Maya is someone that's actually liked.
You think someone that has gone through it herself would go over to another victim's house and down talk them? None of this makes sense. And what Mitch told me directly, they were sent to that house by any means possible by you. This story that you just wanted to do it innocently and you just wanted to get information, that is such bullshit.
Train. You didn't. You're making a narrative. You're twisting it. I said he's my best friend, and I want to make sure that he's okay. I did want to make sure that was the thing. He's my best fucking friend. I did not send anyone to write the tweet longer. Adriana's her own human being, and she can completely write what she wants. I did not send anyone to go.
Slick is your best friend, right? It's not Maya's best friend. It's not Mitch's best friend. It's your best friend. So you're telling me Maya and Mitch went out of their own will to go over there, and for your best friend, they decided to have Adriana with threats backpedal on her
What
twit
threats?
longer.
You also said blackmail, Train. What blackmail?
That's what blackmail is. It won't be good for your career.
What threats? What
it won't be good
threats?
for your
Train,
career.
You think I said that? I never said that.
You don't need to say it. You sent
that.
people there to say it for you.
I never said anyone to go over there and say.
Then why are Maya and Mitch doing that for your best friend? Does that make any sense to anybody or you?
They're best friends with him too. Don't act like
they're best friends with him. Oh yeah,
Maya. Mitch,
okay.
are you guys not very close to Slick?
I'm friends with Slick, yeah, for sure.
He said
best.
Yeah, he just said he's not best friends with him.
No, Train. We care.
Just said it.
Maya cares a lot about Slick. Maya lived with me and Slick.
I see you doing what you did to Adriana right now to Mitch. I see you doing it to me in the DM.
I didn't do anything.
Mitch is scared to talk. I hear it. I hear it in Mitch's voice.
I'm scared to talk because I feel like I'm put in the middle of a situation.
To think that I wasn't ready to lose Slick is you're out of your mind. If Maya went there and said, yeah, I talked to Adriana and she's like, Slick 100% did what she did, I don't even remember what he did. But if she said that, I was ready to lose Slick.
Barry and Mitch, like, is that an accurate summary?
Maya gaslit her pretty fucking hard. Dude.
See, I didn't hear that because I was outside. I was outside, dude.
I listened to the whole thing, man. It was like kind of shocking. She was like, "Are you sure that happened? You were drunk. You wouldn't remember it, right? That doesn't sound like CrazySlick." And then saying like, "If you tweet longer, Slick, this will not be good for your streaming career. You won't be invited anywhere," stuff like that. And she was like saying it like.
Are you sure Maya said that? I really can't picture Maya saying that.
Yeah, I remember it.
Train, if your best friend was possibly losing his entire life and career, would you not try to send somebody to try to understand what happened? Listen, I sent Maya there, and I think I did nothing wrong by sending Maya and Mitch there because I wanted to know the situation and I wanted Slick to be okay. Now, did I tell Maya, hey, say all that stuff? No, I don't believe Maya said that, but if she did, I never would say that. Hey, by the way, this can make your career weird. Train, you know I'm smart. I would never say to someone to do that. So no, I didn't.
You know what you just admitted right there? Oh my God.
What did I admit?
You know you're smart. You would never say it. Yeah, so you're saying you didn't say it, so you could say you didn't say it, but you knew what you were doing by sending them.
I don't know what you're saying at this point. You're saying.
Aspen,
Train,
please,
listen.
bro.
I sent Maya there and Mitch to try to mend the situation because all I knew from Barry is that Slick's done. We had no context. Slick was sitting there depressed as shit, barely talking.
How much did you guys even know going into it?
Nothing, dude, and that's why I wanted Maya to go.
You didn't know directly that he did something that was bad, you just kind of assumed that it didn't happen.
No, Aspen, I assumed it did happen. I was assuming that Maya and Slick Mitch were going to go there, find out what happened, and that
Slick
it was going to be over.
Slick kept denying that anything like wrong happened.
Slick was not talking to us.
Slick was speaking. I kept asking him, nothing happened, like you're not going to make me look like an idiot, right? He claimed that nothing happened, and that's what we were going off of because all we had was that and whatever Noboru said on stream. And then Adriana wasn't talking to us, but she was talking to Barry through Kyle, and that's what happened, right, Barry?
Yeah. All I know is you guys called me and asked if I could get you there, and I said yeah.
So let me get this straight. You wake up in the morning, and Adriana wants to come out about CrazySlick. So your instant reaction, as innocent good guy Mizkif is, let me send Maya, a trusted and liked girl that can be trusted and related to, over to the house of Adriana. But wait, how do we get there? Mitch, can you find a way to get to Adriana's house? He goes, yeah, let me call Barry. So then they get connected. They go over there. And you want to claim to me the day that she wants to come out, you send 2 people to her house to quote unquote get more information. And then out of your hands, they acted on free will to go and threaten on your behalf Adriana to write a lesser version of the twit longer for no reason at all because you believe Slick did do it, but he was your best friend and you wanted to play it right.
Yes, I was ready to lose Slick that day, and yes, that is
He's doing
all
the
true.
same line
I would
again.
never have a rape victim undermine what she did or said.
Then wait for the tweet if you want information. Why are you going? Why are you going before the tweet comes out?
Because we didn't know anything. We barely even knew that there was a tweet.
That's not your business to know. That's not your business to know.
When your best friend is getting canceled, man, I'm sorry you want to act. I'm sorry you just want to act.
That
He's my
act is
best friend and I
inappropriate.
care.
The act is
And
inappropriate.
My best friend was getting fucking canceled. Emotions were in
It
the air. I
doesn't
was scared
matter.
shitless.
He committed a crime. I don't care if your best friend's getting canceled.
Yeah,
Why do you keep
okay,
bringing
then
that
I
up
don't
for
know
me to
what
feel
to tell
pity?
you, man. You have a best friend. You want to know what happened. You want to know the answers. I don't
What?
think there's anything wrong
Asmon,
with that.
please remove your bias and tell me hearing this isn't crazy to you. He's justifying by saying it's his best friend. What the fuck are you saying right now? Your excuse is it's your best friend. That is what I'm saying is wrong about it. You should not be involved. If it's your best friend, you remove yourself. You don't
I think
act.
that, like, if you use him as your best friend, people are easily going to say that you're helping some person and it's like effectively a
Cover
I
up.
wasn't there to help him. And I wasn't there to.
you were there to remove
Let me
possible
ask-
deniability.
We wanted to know the story, Train.
You
It's
could
just that
DM her.
simple.
You could have Maya
No,
DM
we
her.
did, Train. We called her 12
she
times.
didn't respond. That's what she
She
said.
didn't
Then you
respond to
leave her
anything.
alone. She
Oh
wants
my
her space.
God.
You don't
No,
send
but she was
someone
answering.
over.
She was answering Barry. Man.
She's answering Barry because she's friends with Barry. And Maya is involved with
answering
Slick and
Mitch.
you. What?
And she answered Mitch, and she said that Mitch can come over with Maya.
The intent of getting them together and sending them over because she's a trusted figure that can be related is the intent to change the story. You don't inquire
No,
about
it's
something
not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Then why not just send
It's
Mitch
not.
and Barry? Send Mitch and Barry to relay it to you. I'm confused. Why do you need someone that's trusted and can relate to her story as a
Because-
victim herself?
Because we wanted to hear the story. That's just it. We wanted to hear the full-on story of what happened.
You don't think that's a conflict of interest? The day she wanted to post it, you sent it there, and then they posted a revised version?
Train, I did not know there was
Oh,
a
man.
revised
Yikes.
version or any of that
Okay.
shit. I sent Maya and Mitch over, and that's all we know, and that's now we're just doing he said, she said.
I don't
Yeah.
actually trust Adriana in a way where she wouldn't just choose clout. That's what I'm saying.
Her choosing
people.
clout is literally doing what she did, not saying a fucking word out of fear.
I don't know what the fuck happened that night. That's the problem. You know what I mean? If I did, then I would obviously, bro, if she came to me and was like, he actually, like, really fucking,
Yeah.
like, did something nasty, then I'm not going to defend him. You know what I mean?
Hell
Like,
no. And I wouldn't either. If she
Yeah.
told
but the
Mitch
problem
that,
is she
it's over.
tiptoes around everything that we do because she wants to be cool with the big streamers. That's just the facts,
Yeah,
right?
the problem is when she's not even saying the truthful story. Like, she tiptoed around everything. That's what Mitch is saying, and it's true she did. If she came and said, Slick did do this, it's over. It's GG. I would never in a million years be like, are you sure? Can you change this to an A to a B? Like, bro, it's
your
over.
story changes so much.
But
It's
that's-
crazy.
It doesn't.
They had to
Explain how it
downplay
changed,
the
Rain.
story.
Explain.
You just agreed that what Mitch said is true, right? You played it as the authority figure for it to play in your favor, correct? Yes. And now you're saying it's her fault. She tiptoes around. You're literally victim blaming now. You're saying it's her fault. She tiptoes around there. She's not clear. If she would have said it's him, I would have backed down and said, Slick, too
Train,
bad.
She,
like,
she
what?
was tiptoeing around when Mitch was calling nonstop to try to get an answer. She would not tell us the story of what happened.
Yeah,
the
can
whole
you...
time.
Bro, she doesn't owe you the story, Miz. She doesn't owe
She
it
was
to
trying
you.
to just talk. We were just trying to get what happened that night.
She
Barry called
doesn't
us and Barry
owe
went-
it to you.
I don't think that she owes it to him. I think that it's okay for him to ask.
Is it
Yes,
okay
but
to
if she doesn't
ask
wanna-
what happened
if she-
to my best
Yeah.
friend?
But it
There's
does-
accusations?
Oh,
But
dude.
her
That
not
has to
answering
stop.
doesn't make her less credible, Miz. Her tiptoeing doesn't make her less credible when she doesn't want to tell you you're his best friend. Why
She didn't
does
tell me. That's why I didn't want to go to her. I didn't want her.
sending
she was not
Maya
gonna
and
tell
everyone
me.
else there is also a fucking intrusion of her privacy? It doesn't matter if she invited you. You guys called her 55,000 fucking times.
It's just not true.
Oh my god. It's not. What's not true? What part of that's not true?
We called her 55,000 fucking times.
Oh yeah, of course it's not 55 fucking thousand. But did you not just say you called her 40 fucking times and messaged her and she didn't answer
It's a
until
12.
finally?
No, we called her. We texted her. The main person we were bothering, I'll be real with you, was Barry. Like, we were calling Barry a shit ton.
Right.
Because Barry
And why not her
answered
directly?
once
And why not her directly?
because we didn't want to fucking nonstop bother the shit out of her.
No, because you knew, because she wasn't answering. She didn't want to talk. So you wanted to
Right,
get
so
to
she
her
didn't
by
answer,
any
so we
means
didn't talk.
possible.
I don't
What?
understand. She didn't answer, so we called Barry.
Thing is, Mitch, she was scared into downplaying it because she thought everybody in the state of Texas was gonna hate her and her career path because she had some big streamer come and have her downplay it, which
I will.
is
Yeah.
connected to all these other big
To
streamers.
back up Barry's story, I will read one of many paragraphs, okay, from her that she gave me permission for, okay? It's so disheartening, and it keeps reminding me the reason I didn't say anything in the first place. I was forced to say something, and even when I did do what they told me to say, it wasn't enough to actually do anything. It's the fact that my career is constantly trying to be taken down because of the situation, and everyone I seem to be close with publicly is suddenly at Mizkif's house the next week. It seems fishy. I want to give up, but I know I can't let them win. That's That gives me goosebumps alone.
Here's
You
one of the
understand?
I mean,
witnesses, by the
that
way.
makes no
Chills.
sense. I don't even know what to say to that.
Here-
What does that mean? Who's
Yeah.
coming at my house? Who's here?
And that's about it for everything in that call relating to Adriana. A lot more stuff was discussed in that call. It was over 3 hours long. It was still interesting to hear, but it wasn't about the topic at hand. So if you want to listen to the rest of this, I'll leave the link to Destiny's video below with the timestamp continuing on from where I left you off in this video. Anyways, that's everything I have to show you guys today. Of course, I will be keeping you up to date with the story as it progresses. So if you don't want to miss any more updates, be sure to subscribe to this channel with notifications on and follow me on Twitter. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in another video.